Here we go. Folks, it's the Felder Friday edition of College Sports Now. Michael Felder at In the Bleachers hanging out with us. The Doc of Locks also present and in the house. Boys, I got to be honest. It's Friday morning. We're getting ready to break down the Week 4 card. There are no guests on the show today. Everybody I reached out to about Tennessee, Oklahoma, which is arguably the premier game of the weekend,
right,
does local radio in the mornings when we tape. So those guys are off limits. They're not available. That's okay. Everybody's working for a living. Everybody's grinding. So we're going to run through a bunch of games. There will be picks. Tripp and I both had some, by our high measurements, by our high standards, lackluster weekends. We both went 1-2 picking games against the spread. So we will be back with some picks. That's my dog coming up a little bit later, Felder Five. I got a bunch of stuff that does not involve ranked teams that we're going to run through as well. So first, a little Friday roll call. Felder, how are you, sir? I understand that it was curriculum night in the Felder household. So how did that go yesterday evening?
Yeah, it went. I mean, it was a long day. Obviously, we did Hand in the Dirt a little bit later than normal.
Yeah,
I had to get I had to do like 3 other shows, and then I had to go to curriculum night. And your boy's on the school improvement team.
Happy for you. Now, what does the school improvement team consist of?
Right now, it's just monthly virtual meetings, which is a good thing for me.
How are y'all improving school, though? Like, what's...
I have no idea. Never been on it, so I don't know. So I'll find out. Listen, you'll find out when I find out.
Let me flex a little rad dad for you, okay? So my son, my oldest son, he's 8 years old. He's playing baseball this year. Now, I have been promoted somehow to an assistant coach of this team. Because none of the other parents want to get up off their ass and, help. Okay? So, of course, it's batting practice. I'm just out there, helping throw balls back to the coach because nobody can make contact with the ball. You know what I'm saying? I'm not out here it's not like Fred McGriff, the old infomercial from the 90s. I'm not teaching kids how to play baseball. Tom Amansky, thank you. I'm not actually, teaching kids how to hit, how to throw, how to catch. I'm just helping so that these kids can have a more efficient practice, okay? Well, over the course of the last 3 weeks, I have been elevated to assistant coach. I'm out there in the outfield when we're on defense. I'm the first base coach. I'm bullpen dad. I'm getting everybody lined up, okay? Last night, we won a game 10-0. Run ruled these dudes. Okay?
That's good.
And I got to be honest, we started the season losing games 2-1. We had a rough game where we gave up the maximum, which is 5 runs in an inning, lost a 4-run lead in the 6th, and spirits were low, okay? Last night, we run ruled some dudes 10-0. And I got to be honest, man, it felt good.
Yeah, it does feel good.
It felt really nice. So I'm living good. You know who's not living good? App State football. What was that last night, guys? 48-14. You let South Al come to your house and just boat race you in your building?
They turned it.
What happened?
The Jags had 2 really rough games to start the season, and then they turned it on. I mean, you don't score 87 points on accident. And they just are like, oh, we can do it. And they just kept it on.
Are we concerned about what's going on in Boone?
No.
You're 2-2. You're 0-1 in the Sun Belt. You beat ECU last week in Greenville. Not an easy place to play. Not an easy place to play.
I know.
But by App State standards, and Felder, you live in the state, so I don't need to educate you on this.
Right.
App State is not where we thought they would be. This was a preseason Sun Belt pick. They don't look the part right now. That's all I'm saying.
They can still they still have the opportunity to win the Sun Belt. That's not off the table for them.
So you're not hitting the panic button?
No.
Okay.
I think maybe the reality for me is if I'm USA, I'm like, yo, what happened to start? That's what I was thinking, watching that game and trying to feel it out and realize that these guys, they're freaking F1 out there. They go fast. They put points up. They score. They never give you a chance to catch your breath. I think that, and this goes back to the conversation we had about the helmet comms, right? They don't care about them. That was my biggest takeaway was they are running, they're moving the ball before that 15-second where you get that chance to shift. We've seen defensive shift, and we can get into the whole official situation and all that too later, but they go fast.
Yeah.
They're putting plays up.
Yeah. Gio Lopez is a fun quarterback, group of 5 guy. And, you know, that South Alabama just went up to the Rock and basically snatched some souls last night. So, tough scene if you're App State.
A little worried about App State's offense. I mean, South
Alabama, should be.
Like, that's statistically going into the game. I know it's early in the season, but South Alabama was like in the 120s against the pass, and to only get 14 points night game at home, it's got to be a little concerning.
Sellout crowd. Look, here's the thing. I go back to last year. App State started the season 3-4, and people were concerned. Okay, again, nationally, you may be listening to this if you live in like the Northeast or out west, and you're like App State, whatever. Well, look, they are they are accustomed to winning 10 or 11 games in a season. That's not an unfair bar to set in Boone. They started the year 3-4 a season ago, ended up getting hot, won 5 in a row to close the season, made it to a Sun Belt championship game. I'm just saying, you're 2-2. You got Liberty coming to town next week. That is a game for Liberty, a team with legitimate group of 5 playoff aspirations. That's going to be tough. And then you look at the remainder of the schedule. I mean, there's good teams on this schedule, man. Coastal Carolina, JMU. It's not App's league anymore in the Sun Belt. That's all I'm saying. So it's okay to lose a game, but 48-14, golly, tough one.
Well, I do like. I'm trying to go through these numbers for South Alabama, and I'm just looking at like total offense, and they legit like they just decide like it just like they were like, we're gonna run the football. 300 yards against was it the Northwestern State game where they scored 87. 300 yards against App last night. Like they're like, we don't need to throw, we can just run.
Yeah. And they did.
And I think that's huge.
Yeah, and they did. So I had to give South Al a shout out because I was settled in. You know, your boy. I mean, I got in bed about 8:45, turned on the old click. Hit the clicker, checked out what was going on ESPN, and I was like, good Lord.
Yeah.
South Al's taking these boys behind the woodshed. By the way, Tripp and I had this discussion last week, Felder. Is that still an expression that people use, behind the woodshed?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure, because the doc was like, nobody uses that anymore. Nobody talks like that anymore.
I think you probably need to be of a certain age.
Well, I am of that age, okay?
Yeah, so am I. And I think that's the difference. Like, you also don't say Skibbity, Ohio. So, like, we're good.
Skibbity. My son does, and multiple kids on the baseball team do.
Yeah.
They were like, that run rule thing is sus. And I'm like, get out of here with that. We just saved 30 minutes off my night because y'all put up 10 on these guys, okay? Let's get out of here. Let's get some snacks and go home. Yeah. So, Felder Five's coming up in a little bit. Can I interest both of you guys in some Friday Night Lights before we get to the Felder Five?
Okay.
Triple header tonight. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Stanford at Syracuse, 7:30 Eastern start on ESPN. Ranked on ranked game in Lincoln, number 24 Illinois, at 22nd ranked Nebraska, 8 o'clock on Fox. And if that's not enough, 10 p.m. Eastern on, do you guys know what channel this game's on?
Oh.
The CW.
CW, yeah.
Let's go. Yes. San Jose State at Washington State. Cougs coming off the Apple Cup win. They host San Jose. So we got a triple header tonight, guys. Like, not gonna lie. Those are
good games.
I do.
Yeah, they are.
I do want to watch some football tonight. So I'm gonna be in my bag for these games. Felder, you got anything for these?
I am Syracuse, one of the best surprises in the ACC, along with Cal, by the way. We do have to throw Cal in there.
Yes.
So big, and BC as well. And I know they couldn't quite finish the drill against Mizzou, but they gave them a run for their money. But Syracuse, Stanford. I guess we're going to see how down bad Stanford is. And we're going to see what it looks like traveling across the country. Now, the good thing is this is a night game.
Mm-hmm.
7:30. So this is a game that's in, let me do my math. This is 4:30 their time.
Correct.
Okay. Got it.
Little afternoon drive affair in Northern California.
So, yeah, that'll be real fun for any Stanford fan that has a job and is trying to get home and watch this. And then I'm looking at this Illinois and Nebraska game. Nebraska. Styles make fights, right? Illinois, I mean, they like to gunk it up.
Yep.
Nebraska looks like they're trying to be more explosive, period. Explosive on both sides of the ball. And that's the part that's going to be really interesting to me is can they be explosive against the Illinois defense that is, I don't know if folks have checked the track record, but their secondary has been really good for the last 4 years, including sending guys to the NFL consistently.
Yes. Yeah, I'm with you. And they'll be tested tonight from Dylan Raiola, who can spin it, man. Nebraska's true freshman quarterback. That guy's
Pat Mahomes
really,
Jr.
really good. Well, I'm not comfortable with that. I know that there are some physical comps there.
No. I made a joke because of someone cut together, I think it was an Instagram reel or something, of him doing having the same haircut and doing the same warm-ups as Pat Mahomes. Not him being as capable as Pat Mahomes.
Haircut, sunglasses. Yes, I've seen it too. Let me check with the doc on these games. Can I interest you in some action on a Friday night, Doctor?
Yeah, these are some very bettable games right here, especially the first two. I think you've got home teams that are favored, that are still have a little something to prove, I guess, with both Syracuse and Nebraska. Washington State, a little bit worrisome there, 12.5, and they're coming off a big win in the Apple Cup, but
yep.
I do think Washington State is really good. I really like
Right.
Mateer, and honestly, I think the only team that really scares me here is Nebraska a little bit. I'm maybe not as high on them as everybody else.
Right.
I really
6 sacks against Colorado, that does feel kind of but it's Colorado.
right. And
We'll
they
see.
didn't score in the second half against Colorado, or if they did, I can't remember if they didn't score. They only got a field goal, and you're talking about a Colorado team that just can't do anything right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm not quite as high on Nebraska, and I do think Illinois, like Felder said, is probably going to try to muddy this thing up, slow it down. I saw the totals down to 42 right now.
Ooh.
So probably not a lot of points coming tonight.
Yeah. Nebraska, look, you want to talk about a building with some juice in it. That place is going to be rocking. They're excited. They feel like they're not all the way back, not like Texas level back, but certainly back where they should be, ranked in the top 25. And look, Syracuse's building's going to be rocking tonight. That place was rocking a couple weeks ago when Georgia Tech came to town. They're excited about Fran Brown. They're excited about
Yes.
Kyle McCord. That's one of the tougher venues to play. We've had Roddy on the show. He talks about going to the Dome. Even if it's half full, the way they close off the upper decks, not completely, but they make sure everybody's down in the lower bowl. You got the roof on the place. That place, how many venues does Stanford play in like that in the Pac-12? There's 3 road environments in the Pac-12, the old Pac-12.
But there's no domes though.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be different, man. It's gonna be different. I'm excited to watch Syracuse. I love Aronde Gadsden. That guy's a pro.
He's a monster.
Yeah, he is borderline unguardable. So we got some Friday night lights. There are some games of note this evening. Let's get in to the Week 4 edition of the Felder Five. Talk to me, big dog. Let's go. Educate us.
Okay, here we go. Here's the first thing. Folks got to get over the 6 SEC teams in the top, 7?
Expand on this.
I'm tired. People keep asking, oh my God, can you imagine 6 SEC teams? And then I'm like, do you guys understand how a schedule works? Georgia, right now, Georgia has the toughest path to the playoff of any team.
Say that a little bit louder for the people in the back, because I know what Georgia's got coming up in the SEC, but everything they have to deal with is away from home.
Georgia, the University of Georgia, the Bulldogs, the team that everybody had as consensus number 1, including myself, that is now number 2 because they struggled already against Kentucky, which, by the way, we'll get to that. I didn't think they looked very strong in that football game. And by strong, I mean physically strong, muscly. Mm-hmm. They weren't able to move bodies, is what I'm saying. Georgia goes to Alabama.
Next week.
To Texas.
Yes.
To Ole Miss.
So stop right there. That's 3 teams ranked in the AP top 5.
Right.
That Georgia has to go on the road and play in their building.
Plus they have to play Tennessee.
We'll get to Tennessee.
That's fine. I understand. I know how you feel about Tennessee, and that's fine. What I'm saying is, looking at what we're looking at right now, from a ranking standpoint, Tennessee has to be mentioned in this discussion for sure. Who Georgia has to go through. They have to go through 4 of these top, 7 teams?
Yep.
They have to go through 4 of them. That is harder than anybody else has in the country.
Yeah. Yes, it's not close. Yeah, it's not close.
Yes, Bama plays Georgia. Yes, Bama plays, what do they play, Mizzou? They go to Texas.
They get Ole Miss. Yep.
Yeah, so this is going to be, all of this stuff is going to take care of itself.
By the way, let me just, it's a Felder Friday. I'm feeling myself a little bit. Mm-hmm. Do you still think Georgia makes the playoff, even with that quote-unquote gauntlet of games? Because I do.
I do too. I think Kirby's a psycho.
Don't think that, the fact that they're not number 1 doesn't play into Kirby's hands all week. They're off. They're on a bye. They're not playing Saturday.
Not just all week.
All season, sure.
For the rest of the year.
But they got to go to Alabama next Saturday. You know that Kirby's y'all barely beat Kentucky. You're not ranked number 1 anymore. Y'all ain't shit.
It was a genius move. Let's just win by 1 point at Kentucky.
Yeah.
We're still undefeated, and I can just tear into these guys.
He's a lunatic, and I dig it. I get it. And he's gonna I'm sure he's gonna show them times that they got moved backwards, that they got knocked off the ball, that they didn't make those blocks, that they didn't do those things. And I think that's a good thing.
And by the way, I know that it's a Friday morning. I just dropped some profanity talking about Kirby Smart, but if you haven't heard it, just pull up one of Kirby Smart's pregame speeches.
Yeah, you want to talk about dropping profanity.
That man ain't afraid to use adult language, okay?
No. Well,
I've had to teach my kids this, and Felder, you'll appreciate this because your daughter's asking these questions as well. My kids will hear me use profanity from time to time, and they'll say, Dad, you said a bad word, and I come right back with, that's not a bad word, that's an adult word. I'm allowed to use that word if I use it in certain situations, certain environments. You can't say it because you're 5. Okay? It's not a bad word.
No, it's not. It's not a bad. There's
Kirby Smart, not afraid to use adult language around his team. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and for me, I am with my daughter. She knows that basically for her, it's not even that it's a bad word. For her, it's just that's a daddy word. Correct. It's adult language. I can. She's no. She's like, I can talk like this with my dad. I can't talk like this with my grandma, my grandpa, my other grandma. I can't talk like this with my mother. I definitely can't use this at school. But with my dad, when it's just the two of us, I can say it.
Just the two of us.
Yeah, we can make it if we try. So, but literally, that's the way that I've done it. It's the same thing. She doesn't call a dog a cat. It's about situational and understanding what it is. So, yeah, we do that. But Kirby Smart's not afraid, which is where I think Dan Lanning gets that hot streak too. So
yes. Also, another team that's on a bye this week. We got 3 of the top 10 teams not playing. Georgia, Oregon, Alabama, all sitting Saturday out. Yes.
Good. I wrote about this, and I'll say it again. And you know what? Let's go. So we did number 1. Let's go to number 2. Is Tennessee fake? I think that Tennessee and Alabama are the 2 most dangerous teams in the country. And by dangerous, I mean that on any given Saturday, they could blow up your spot. What do you want to handle? Let's get Alabama off the table first, because I know you've got thoughts on Tennessee. Alabama looks like the strongest team in the country.
Jalen Milroe in this offense looks lethal. And what I'm talking about when I say strongest, I'm not like, oh, they're the most well put together. No, I'm talking about literally, if you put their lift numbers up against other teams' lift numbers, I think they're going to win. Yeah. And if they have to move bodies, they will. Wisconsin's got grown men on that offensive line. Didn't matter.
Alabama was like, look, man, please move. We have somewhere to be, and you're in the way. And they just moved them out of the way. And I thought that was juxtapose that with Georgia and Kentucky. And Georgia wasn't moving guys the same way. And it was very, I don't know, it's the kind of football that I like to see.
Right.
I like seeing guys get like super physical and just move people. I like seeing safeties and linebackers tackle guys and they go backwards, not grab them on the side and just hang on. So, and we got a chance to see that. And against a Wisconsin team that, again, look, I like Luke Fickell. I think that team is still built in the same mold that they've been built in for the last, 2 decades? Mm-hmm. Like going all the way back to like freaking Ron Dane. But they're still built in that same mold where we're going to line up. We're going to outmuscle you. We're going to have some older guys on the offensive line. We're going to have some grown-ups playing football. And Alabama was like, I don't care how old you are. We're going to move you around. Yeah. And they did. Now, let's get to Tennessee. I think they're dangerous. I think they are. You don't.
No, I don't. Let me clarify this, because I think we're going to see this on Saturday night. And Doc, feel free to get in here, because you've mm-hmm. been very high on the Vols as well. They were your highest rated play last week, I believe, or 2 weeks ago. This week, okay. All right, very good. So Tennessee has looked incredible on offense. They've looked very efficient. They've also looked really good on defense, okay?
Mm-hmm.
We need to step back and acknowledge that they have played nobody through 3 weeks. Saturday night in Norman, it's a different story. Now, has Oklahoma looked great? No, they haven't. We can talk about we will talk about Oklahoma, but you brought up Tennessee, so let's talk about Tennessee. Yeah. Okay? Nico Iamaleava going on the road. First true road start for this young man who has mm-hmm. looked incredible, okay? Makes all the throws. It's not going to be easy for them Saturday night.
No,
it's the first SEC game in program history for Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
That place is going to be absolutely on fire, okay?
I know.
That is a true home field advantage. Like, I don't think people understand. Look, it's week 4, okay? There are teams out there. We'll talk about a few of them over the course of today. But Tennessee is Exhibit A for me. Yes, you have been really good, and you have been very efficient with what you've been doing on both sides of the football. You ain't played nobody, okay? And that includes you, NC State. Now, I will say in the NC State game, go back and look at what happened in the first half, okay, before that thing got out of hand. It's a one-score game. At the time, then starting quarterback of the Wolfpack, Grayson McCall,
mm-hmm.
is driving in the red zone, trying to make things interesting before halftime. Ball gets tipped, 85-yard pick six. Now all of a sudden the route is on, okay? That was mm-hmm. in Charlotte a couple weeks ago. Don't come at me with the Kent State numbers, okay? Don't come at me with the FCS numbers against the beloved Mocs of Chattanooga, okay? You got to throw that stuff out. That's a team that's handling their business, and there's something to be said for that. There's something to be said for that.
That's what
right?
I'm saying. They are taking care of business.
Absolutely. Because Oklahoma, through the first 3 weeks, they've been winning games. They have not been handling their business. Okay?
Right. Those are different things.
I think Oklahoma's defense, with Brent Venables, who we all know about, okay?
Mm-hmm.
That guy can scheme up a D, all right? He knows what he's doing on that side of the ball. You didn't like that. You don't like the way I phrased that, did you, Felder?
I didn't say anything.
Danny Stutzman at linebacker, All-American. Billy Bowman in the secondary, These guys are really good at what they do. All I'm saying is I don't think you're going to see Tennessee pulling away from Oklahoma and winning this thing by 2, 3, 4 scores. That's not going to happen. If they win and they do flex on the Sooners, great. I've learned a lot about Tennessee football on Saturday night.
That's the whole point, though.
I just don't see it happening. That's all I'm saying. Doc, go ahead. Get in here because you are the Winston-Salem president of the Tennessee fan club. So go on, buddy. Let's go.
Did I just get you this fired up with my Tennessee take on
Tuesday? No, but the line of guys and gals who are at the Tennessee, window right now that just think that these guys are an ATM because they've been going out and beating teams by 60, 70 points. Look at who they're playing. Kent State lost at home to St. Francis a couple weeks ago, for God's sakes.
No,
That's all I'm saying.
That's true. That's true. I just didn't realize you were that fired up about Tennessee, but I can only go off what I've seen, and to me, Tennessee just looks like the best team out there for me from what I've seen. And I get what you're saying about they haven't played the competition because they haven't, and NC State doesn't look like they're going to be very good either. So it's hard to count that game either. But there's one team that I've watched through 3 games who just goes out there and does whatever they want to do whenever they want to do it. And I can only trust what I've seen. And honestly, Oklahoma doesn't look like that at all to me. And I know that's a totally different test than what Tennessee's had so far, but I just think they're out. I think they're going to outclass Oklahoma. And I honestly don't think it's going to be a very close game. Like, I could definitely see them winning by at least a couple of scores, and that's why I like them. I think the line is either 7, 7.5 right now. We'll get to it later. But, yeah, they're my favorite play on the board this week.
Yeah, Doc and I are going head-to-head on this one. I got to be honest. Like, and again, it is September. I'm totally comfortable being like, hey, I'm going to sit down on Saturday night. I'm going to learn about both of these teams because I haven't been impressed with Jackson Arnold's offense. Like they didn't look great against Temple. They were like 0 for 12 on third down against Temple, who's terrible in week 1.
I just haven't seen you this fired up since the whole Graham Mertz thing.
I trust in Brent Venables. Okay, I do.
Here's what
we've seen this Tennessee offense struggle against physical defenses. Okay, none of which they've played so far this year, I might add. And I think that's what you're going to get Saturday night at Norman against a team who, by the way, they're not underdogs like this at home. This doesn't happen. They haven't been an underdog of more than 3 points in Norman since 2000. All right, we're going back 24 years. Okay.
This is what I'm going to say. I don't think we've seen Tennessee's best game.
That could be very true.
I think their best game is if they play their best game on Saturday night, they're going to win by 2 touchdowns. But they have to play their best game on the road in Norman. So I understand what you're saying, but I'm also saying if we like, and here's the, you know what we haven't even freaking brought up? Heupel. You think he doesn't know what Norman has to offer?
There's a tremendous motivational factor here for him. This guy, he's going back to the place he won a national championship and also got fired from.
Yeah. So
Bob Stoops fired this guy as the OC.
But he also, I'm not even talking about like emotional bullshit. I'm talking about he understands what that stadium can be like.
Sure.
He can prepare his team. I don't think with the exception of Kirby Smart taking his team to Alabama, obviously, there are very few coaches that have this insight into what that environment entails. What the pregame looks like, what this looks like, what that looks like. Very few coaches have that. And he does. And I think they're going to be prepared. And I also think, and again, this is something that we've talked about, Tennessee's another one of those teams. They don't care about the comms. I'll talk to you quick, but I need you to get the ball. We're not waiting until 15 seconds. And I think that is a wrench because watching Oklahoma, you see how they slow the game down. You see how Oklahoma's defense, the way they move. By the way, I know this isn't in the Felder Five, but officiating has got to somebody's got to come out and talk about this officiating. Because if you get to 15 seconds, comms shut off, defense shifts, offense jumps, that's not an offsides penalty. It's a false start. But we've got to figure out, that's got to be figured out too. That's been something that's been kind of a thorn in my side for the first, I guess, 4 weeks, right? Because week 0, we saw it.
Yep. 1,
2, and 3. We've seen it. And we've seen it. And this is not my officials suck in this conference. This is across the board. They don't know what to do with it. And so to go back to Tennessee, they don't let you get into that shift, right? The shift is the defense that you, because they go so fast. The shift is the defense that you want to be in. But if you don't get into that defense, now you're stuck.
Here's the thing, and Felder, I would love to expand on this if you can, but like Tennessee's offense is predicated on being able to pick up that first down. Okay,
yes.
Once you move the chains, then it's go time. Now we are applying pressure to the gas pedal, and we're going faster. Okay. What if Dylan Sampson can't rip off 9 yards per carry? This is the running back for Tennessee.
Right.
Okay, who's already got 9 rushing touchdowns through 3 weeks. What if he's not generating the 9 yards per carry that he has been through the first 3 weeks against absolute ghosts defensively? Like, now you're forcing Nico to make plays with his arm. 6 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Like, he's incredible. He will continue to be incredible. He's not perfect, though. Okay.
No, I don't think he's perfect either. And again, but what did I say? I got the numbers right here. I said that I don't think he's played his best game. So you go to Nico Iamaleava, you look at his game log. I mean, this guy has 28 passes is his top one. That's against Chattanooga, right? 23, 16. He hasn't thrown the ball the way that we've seen other people throw the ball. He hasn't thrown it as often as other people throw the football. And then you look at his game, like he doesn't run the ball. Like he ran the ball against 8 times, against NC State. But the reality of it is, to me, he hasn't been tasked with playing his best game. That's the question. Now, if that's the question that you're looking to get answered, I agree with you. But I see it from the other side, where we still have not seen his or their best game, which to me is scary.
Yeah. Here's why I think this is fun, and Doc, I'll let you get in here. I just think all of these things can be true at the same time. Yes, Tennessee has not played their best game. Oklahoma has not played their best game. Nico hasn't had to go on the road and play a true game away from home. His one start was in a bowl game against Iowa. Congratulations. So, I'm talking about last season. By the way, the Charlotte game against NC State, 70-30, Vol fans, okay? Don't give me the 50-50 split. Don't say that counted. It did not. Go ahead, Doc.
No, I think you're right, but I think Felder brings up a good point. This might be the first time to see an actual really locked-in Nico, locked-in Tennessee. You can't stay locked in when you're doing what they were doing at NC State, But different environment. It'll be fun to watch.
I agree.
I'm looking forward to it.
I just think there are a handful of teams out there, and Tennessee for me is front and center in this mix of yeah, you're 3-0. You've been handling business, and that is what you are supposed to be doing. But you also ain't played nobody. That's all I'm saying.
Sure.
So I didn't want to hijack your Felder Five, but I am very passionate.
Fine.
I'm very passionate about this game. I think it's going to be a learning experience for both sides of the coin, Tennessee and Oklahoma. And the best part is, Doc, you and I, we're done with our blitz shift at 6 o'clock Eastern time. We can go home. We can settle in. We can crack open, in your case, a Topo Chico seltzer. And in my case, a High Life, and just enjoy the good ride. That's all I'm saying.
That would totally be backwards. I don't know why you would say it like that. You're the only person I know that drinks Topo Chicos.
It's cool that you still got a bunch of seltzers left over from pool season, man. Ain't no shame in that, dude. It's okay. They're low-cal. Stay hydrated, okay?
Dude, I still have 13 cans of Bud Light.
You're not a cans guy.
I'm not a cans guy.
For those that don't know, Felder is a BL bottles guy. BL bottles.
Bottles.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All day. How do you not know that, Doc?
My brother-in-law's like that. He only wants to drink out of bottles. I'm totally. I keep a case or two of Miller Lite cans in the fridge.
No.
Around the clock.
I'm proud of myself. I only had to buy 124 of cans for the pool season, and I didn't even make it halfway through.
Yeah, can't bring glass to the pool.
Good for you.
We all know this.
Which means your boy, because your boy was not going to the pool. All right. Georgia Tech, Louisville, Hartzell.
Yes, talk to me.
I gotta go. Let's sting them, baby. You and Roddy, let's go. That's my sneaky game of the week.
Okay, well, guess what? And I mean, look, it's your game, so I'll let you break it down.
No, I want to hear because I'm sure Roddy talked about it.
No, Louisville's off a bye week. Awesome,
yeah.
Great. Tech's playing their 5th game of the season. Hey guys, who has Louisville played? Oh, let's take a look. The Governors of Austin Peay and a bad Jacksonville State team. Like, you look at Louisville's offensive numbers, they look like 05 USC.
Yeah.
They played no one.
Yeah.
And that's fine. That's the schedule that you have built for yourself. I understand. But Tech's coming to town. Brent Key is an underdog. I don't need to rattle off the stat again, do I? Do I need to rattle off the stat again? He's played 5 ranked teams as the coach of Georgia Tech. He's been an underdog in all 5 of those games, including, at the time, I know it's hard to believe, Florida State a couple weeks ago was a preseason top 10 team in Dublin.
Yes, they were.
Brent Key has played 5 ranked ACC teams. He's been an underdog in all 5 of them. Louisville Saturday makes 6. Brent Key is 5-0 in those games. Not against the spread, although he is 5-0 against the spread. He's 5-0 straight up. He's won them all.
He wins
some of those spreads were like 20-point spreads.
He's won them all.
Just
yes.
Worth mentioning.
Yes.
Huge spreads that they won outright.
So again, it's not that Louisville is trash. It's just that we haven't seen them play anybody with a pulse. And so on totally Saturday, agree. We're going to find out. We fixing to find out. That's all I'm saying.
It's a learning. This is, again, as we've talked about it from the beginning when we fired up the show again. This is a learning experience. We're going to learn. The first month of the season, you find out who you are. Like NC State, to go back to them, NC State didn't. They had to change quarterbacks.
Yeah.
They had to change quarterbacks. So this is going to be interesting. Like, I still have no idea what's going to happen with Utah, right?
No one does. We'll get to that. Yeah, we'll get to that.
That's crazy.
They're the cagiest team.
Well, I know you're not gambling guy, but like the line in that game, Oklahoma State, Utah has just been swinging back and forth because people think Cam Rising's going to play, and now Utah's a 2-point favorite. Well, we don't know anything. Now Oklahoma State's a 2.5-point favorite. I mean, it's just been back and forth, man.
We'll get to that. Let's go with their former conference mates, USC. They're going to the Big House.
Yes, they are.
And we just talked about Heupel going to Oklahoma, right? Lincoln Riley, former Oklahoma coach, taking his team to the Big House. And you and I don't know, Tripp, I don't know if we talked about it, but you and I, Hartzell and I have talked about Michigan. Michigan being very equivalent to the Dean Dome. Where it's big, but it's not like raucous.
It's not the rowdiest place.
Exactly. Yeah. But here's what I wrote down. USC handling the Big House and that Michigan defense. Michigan's offense trying to test this revamped USC defense. I don't have any faith in Michigan's offense whatsoever. I just don't have any of it.
Yeah, me neither.
Got no faith in this Michigan offense.
I have some Alex Orji offensive numbers if you'd like them.
Yeah, well, I'd love them.
Hashtag research, okay? He has played in 12 games over 3 years at Michigan. All right?
I didn't realize this is his 3rd year.
Well, I mean, mop-up duty, right? I mean, backing up
No,
JJ.
I just didn't realize this was his 3rd year.
Yeah, he's been there a while, okay? Alex Orji, in 12 games played over 3 years in Ann Arbor, has thrown, take a guess, how many passes you think he's thrown in 12 games over 3 years?
I'm not going to look it up. I'm going to say 17.
Okay, good guess. Tripp?
It's good. In how many games?
12 games over 3 years. How many passes has Alex Orji attempted?
It's got to be over 22.
7.
Wow.
God damn.
7. So you know what you're getting, right? You have to stop the RPO game if you're USC.
It's not even RPO game if there's no P.
Well, he can pitch it. Like
run pitch option is what you're calling it?
Run pitch.
It's the RO.
That's a triple option.
Run pitch, baby. You know what you're getting. It's going to be it's going to be a lot of this guy out on the edge trying to read the defense. And it's going to look like Georgia Tech under Paul Johnson, man. Like, that's what this is going to be.
Yeah, that's the triple option.
But here's the thing, and you brought this up, Felder. Yes, USC's defense has looked good against an LSU offense that doesn't want to run the ball.
Yep.
Utah State, who they shut out, great. Good for you. But this is a different beast. So how much has D'Anton Lynn changed the defensive culture? Can these guys stay disciplined? Can they stay in their lanes? Can they wrap up? Orgy's a big guy, okay? Like, can you do this over 4 quarters? Get him on the ground. Yeah. We're going to find out. We'll see. Personally, I think this is going to look a lot like the Texas game, man.
You think USC is going to run them out the house?
I think USC is going to get a lead. Michigan's going to have to chase points, which they can't do because their quarterback can't throw the ball. And there's also the Colston Loveland factor. This guy left the game against Arkansas State last week, the All-American tight end. Frankly, the only pass catcher worth a damn on Michigan's team. If he doesn't play, what are we doing? Or I'll spin this the Michigan way. Donovan Edwards, man, you've been real quiet this year. Like,
this could be like he could break out.
Are we going to treat this like the playoffs a couple months ago when you just went into the phone booth and put on a Superman costume?
Yeah.
Like, he looked great against Washington. He looked great against Alabama. We haven't seen anything remotely close to that through 3 weeks.
Yeah. And listen, I'm on the record as saying I thought he was a better running back than Blake Corum. And you're really making me look bad, man. And that's all I care about.
Yeah.
That's how you look.
Yeah.
But again, like Miller Moss. First true road start for that young man.
Yeah, okay? Same as him and Nico Iamaleava.
You nailed it. I mean, the Vegas game against LSU, it was probably a pro LSU crowd, but still, like, it is the big house.
Why would it be? I don't think it was a pro LSU crowd.
Yeah, there were more LSU fans. Yeah, there were more LSU fans there than USC fans.
Were there really?
It was like 60-40. I mean, it wasn't like
that's wild. That's a drive for them.
They ran out of beer at that game, man.
Well, that's an LSU thing. Then
these folks need to learn, man. If LSU's coming to town, you need to overstock. Okay?
It's.
There's no excuses.
I will say this. It's the same thing with ECU.
Yeah.
When we used to have baseball series with ECU that were hosted at the Bosch.
Yeah, ECU baseball don't play, dude. Yes.
They do not play. And shout out to the jungle.
Welcome to the jungle. We don't have to, I mean, it's fine.
You're going to die.
There it is. There it is. What do you think? What do you think happens? Like, I know you're not a betting guy, Felder, but like, if you had to look into your crystal ball, what's this going to look like Saturday?
They don't have
Michigan.
Look, they lost their quarterback. They lost a bunch of guys along the lines. They lost their best player in Mike Sainristil. You lost Blake Corum. They're gone. Those guys they're not walking through that door. USC is a team that to me looks like they're on the up. They're on the rise. They're pushing to be like, and you know what's crazy? I don't know how many Michigan fans you've talked to.
Some of my best friends in Winston-Salem are Michigan fans.
They are fine.
Yeah, because of what happened last year.
Yeah, they're fine.
Yeah, they went 15-0. They got a banner.
They're fine. And so I think USC feels a little more hungry. Hungry is not the right word. I hate when people say that. I think USC feels like a team on a mission.
And they've got something to play for, where Michigan, honestly, I think we just need to rip the Band-Aid off and say they're not going to be very good this year.
They're going to be
Michigan's going to be 8-4. Like they'll be
8-4. I mean, hang on. I got to look at their schedule.
Look at the schedule.
I got to look at the schedule.
Let's play the game. Let's play the game.
Okay, I'm going to the schedule right now. All right, let's go to the Michigan schedule.
And they haven't looked good in a single game yet.
No, they have not. They're averaging 23 points a game. Oh my goodness, it's not great.
I got the schedule right here, man.
I got the schedule right here.
All right.
So we got Southern Cal.
Loss.
Minnesota.
2-2. Win.
Washington. At Washington.
Let's say loss.
Yeah.
I'll give them a win.
I think
At
they can
Illinois.
win.
Loss.
At Illinois, I mean that's Michigan's game. I mean they're playing the exact same brand of football.
Yeah, that's yeah, you're 100% correct. They're playing the exact same brand of football. Michigan State.
Hey,
Don't.
I got Michigan State on my board a little bit later.
Don't do it.
3-0.
On accident.
Jonathan Smith cooking, baby. Let's go.
On accident.
Well,
Have
Win.
you watched them?
win.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
My wife's not home. I'm free to talk about this team. They're bad. They're not good.
I got Michigan winning, okay?
Okay, thank you. Oregon,
Loss.
Indiana.
So this is, I think, is this the longest active streak in FBS right now?
I don't know. I know it used to be, didn't it used to be Kentucky?
Is that in Michigan
Florida?
or at Indiana?
It's at
It's
Indiana.
It's at Indiana, yes.
That's a toss-up there.
Indiana's kind of cooking with.
I would
Sig
classify
Daddy,
Illinois and Indiana both as toss-ups right now for Michigan.
Okay, Northwestern.
dub.
Win.
Okay, and then at Ohio State.
House. So 7-5, 8-4.
God, that's man. Woo!
And they're
Never know.
and look, they
9
will
and
still
3
be
maybe.
fine because they've
I
got the
think
ring.
they'll go 9-3.
No.
All right, we'll see.
9-3. That means
Well,
they're
if
losing
you
just
beat
one game
Illinois,
after
Indiana-
Saturday. That means
Yeah.
they're losing just one. No.
I think they lose to Oregon. I think that the rest they got under control. Or you know what, 8-4. I'll say that because Ohio's. But here's the thing: Ohio State got to get their shit together, dog.
Ohio State has built their entire offseason around beating Michigan, man. They spent $22 million in the portal. That's insane.
Who cares about how much money you spend?
That's what I'm saying.
How much money did Colorado spend in the portal?
You spent it because you have to beat Michigan. You have
Yeah,
to.
but how
If
much
you
money did
don't,
Colorado
Ryan
spend?
Day's working in TV next year, man.
How much money did Colorado spend in the portal?
I want to see Ryan Day without the beard coloring, man. Like, what's he actually look like?
Yeah, I don't know.
That man's using motor oil to dye that beard. You know he is, man.
Yeah, him and Coach K, man.
Coach K is getting some grays.
Coach K is catching strays. That guy's retired. Come on.
Come on.
Yeah, well,
Don't talk about Trip Scott like that, man.
I know.
Don't come after
all right,
Coach K.
Hartzell, I need you to talk about this. JMU against UNC.
Listen. North Carolina's 3-0. All right?
Mhm.
Yep.
What are they against the spread this year, Doc? Do you know without looking it up?
Are they 0-3?
They are
I would
0-3.
imagine.
They're
They've
0-3.
definitely struggled against some pretty crappy teams
Now-
2 weeks in a row.
Now, I work, Felder, you will appreciate this.
Mhm.
The Doc and I work with a couple of UNC fans who are, you know, magically UNC football fans when App State is struggling, but definitely UNC basketball fans,
Of
right?
course.
Once football season ends. I've been told
okay.
that, quote, we found a quarterback. this
Criswell?
week. Yeah.
Took 4 weeks.
Yeah, I've been told that UNC fans have, quote, found a quarterback. Okay, that's fine and well, but you have yet to cover a number this year. You are 3-0. You have played nobody. You beat Minnesota in week 1
Barely.
in a game where Minnesota had a game-winning field goal that missed by 2 feet at the
Yes.
buzzer, okay?
Yeah.
Looked like my tee shot on the first tee. So, do I think that UNC is going to beat JMU? No, I do not. In fact, I got to be honest. You'll be hearing from me a little bit later on this show
That's my
when
dog.
we talk about JMU at UNC,
Wow.
okay? And let me tell you something else, Felder. You know this. Lot of empty seats available, okay? Saturday
Yeah.
afternoon.
Hang on.
Early
Have we-
kick on the ACC network. I'm going to tell you right now, there's going to be at least 10,000 JMU fans at this game. This place is going to be packed with purple. Packed.
How much do you think the tickets are?
Bro, I bet I can get in for the price of a Bojangles combo, man. I bet I can get a ticket for $7.
You can
I'm
probably
on
just walk
Vivid.
in.
I'm on Visit Seats.
If you just wear a suit and like put an old credential around your neck, I guarantee you can just walk in there and nobody'd say a word to you.
Oh, easy. Easy.
But
what's the get-in price for JMU at UNC?
Good,
I'm on SeatGeek right now.
What's the get-in price?
I'm at SeatGeek. I just want one ticket, SeatGeek.
They're trying to sell you $100.
$25.
They're like, you can buy one ticket for $25 or get 100 tickets
if
for
I'm
$40.
walking around Keenan and it's 30 minutes to kick, I bet I can get a ticket for $5. Easy.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
You spot somebody a White Claw.
Now, I will say this. I do have my concerns about JMU's ability to stop one Amarian Hampton, okay?
He's very good.
That guy is a large human being, okay? But I mean, JMU's tough, dude. JMU's tough.
They're tough.
This is going to be a tough game. And I don't think – here's the other part. I don't think UNC fans have any idea.
About
no
JMU?
clue.
Or
Yes.
just – yeah, look, man, they're out there to tailgate and have a good time. The weather's going to be nice
Tailgate?
Saturday. Yeah, tailgate. They don't care
There's
about
not-
going into this game. They just want to have a good time.
There's
JMU
not
beat
a lot of
Gardner-Webb
tailgating going on in
13 to
Chapel Hill
6.
West.
Yes, there is. They like to eat cheese from the expensive part of the grocery store. They'll be sipping on their wine. Come on, dude.
There's not. I'm being serious. Like, there's not a lot of tailgating going on.
The highest density of Panda Dunks in the United States, Chapel Hill, when there's an athletic event in town.
100%. I totally
You've
agree
never
with you on
seen
that.
more pairs of Panda Dunks in your life.
Yeah, men,
It's
women,
disgusting.
I have
kids.
no idea what you're talking about.
And I got to be honest, man, a lot of people, like, they think it's cool to wear beat-up Panda Dunks. Like, these things look like they've been through a
Dude.
war. It's embarrassing.
Don't get me started, man.
Clean your shoes,
I
okay?
had curriculum. I two things. One, I had curriculum night. Saw my kid's kindergarten teacher. She's in first grade now. Still had on the beat up white forces.
No, man.
Can't
Why
do
y'all
that.
walking through the dirt? There's a sidewalk right here. What are we doing?
And then my wife decided she's only wearing Chuck Taylors for this whole week because it's Spirit Week at her school.
Lows or highs?
Lows.
Okay, I respect that.
And I told her she's not cool enough to wear highs.
That's not nice. I mean, that's your wife who you love dearly. I mean,
She's not cool.
God.
Like, what do you mean? Like, I'm cool.
What was your shoe game to curriculum night?
I just wore some Air Max 1s.
Yeah, sure.
But I had to clean up my wife's white Chucks. And literally, so I throw those in the washer. That's easy.
Right.
But I was like, but these are pretty dingy.
Right.
I got to get a good. So I'm in there working. I'm like, I look like Walter White in that bad boy. Like
You're scrubbing.
I'm not scrubbing. I'm soaking. I'm hitting them with the CLR.
Okay.
Bang, 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 bang. I'm hitting them with a little bit with the bleach. Boom, boom, boom. And she came into the laundry room and she was like, why does it smell like that in here? And I was like, I'm trying to clean these. She's like, you're going to die. Because I'm mixing chemicals, baby. And guess what? They came out great.
We're talking – good for you, buddy. That's like a husband of the year type stuff. We're talking footwear. Of course, the doc has no idea what we're talking about when we say Panda
I'm a
Dunks.
little lost.
Are you – look, it's Friday afternoon. High
Yeah.
temperature today, supposed to get up to 81.
I know.
Are you wearing socks to work today, doctor? Yes or no?
No.
He looked at his side.
Well, here's the thing. It's either flip-flops or it's hey dudes. So
Hey,
what did
yeah.
we go with today on a Friday?
You've told me not to wear
Nobody
flip-flops.
wants to see your toes
You
at work.
did.
That's
Also,
correct.
my toes are fine. I got great-looking feet. You've also told me you don't care what I wear, so I will start wearing flip-flops if that's cool.
I do care because you're a reflection of
Let this
me. We
stuff
work
breathe.
together. We're in the same region.
You
I
told
can't have.
me I could do it.
I don't want you wearing
I don't
the
wear
flip-flops that have
raggedy
the
old
bottle
flip-flops,
opener
man.
on the sole.
I
I'm not here
don't
for
wear.
that.
I do have a pair of reefs, but they don't have the bottle opener.
What are you wearing to work today? Just let me just see them for our YouTube audience. Just put them things up. Let's see them boats. Come on. God Almighty, the air
Dudes.
trips, dog. Golly, dude.
These are pretty good looking shoes.
The air trips.
They're comfortable, and I like them.
Oh man.
And I guess technically I am wearing socks because I have a sock, like a no-show, fitted sock around the sole of the shoe.
That's not.
Is it part of the shoe, or is it an actual something that you can take off and throw in the washing machine like a sock?
No,
and
it's
actually,
like
you know what,
you
man? Don't touch it. Ah, well,
what?
These are my retired Pegasus.
This is a
Hartzell.
clean sock. It's not anything gross. I just put that on there.
These boys got about 500 miles on them.
it's time to replace them if they got 500
I already
miles.
replaced them.
Okay,
That's why I said they're
Post these
retired.
videos on YouTube?
I am now.
Well, I wish Hey Dude would pay attention. I've tagged him a couple of times on tweets, and I think they'd be a great sponsor for.
I
my
agree.
picks.
I mean, I
agree.
You wear it well.
I'm a Hey Dude guy. I'm a sandal guy.
You live the
and
lifestyle.
That's
man.
what I like.
Yeah, no, toes in the sand. You're that kind of guy. I respect you.
I have one other thing that I wanted to hit on before we go rapid fire through the games.
Please.
Which, by the way, we've eaten up the clock, Doug.
This is one of our better Friday shows, maybe ever, in the history of CSN.
We've
so
eaten
let's
up
keep
the
it
clock.
going. Listen, let's fourth quarter. Let's finish the drill. Come on.
Got it on the board. Colorado at Baylor.
Is this at Baylor, or is it? I think this is in Boulder. Is it not?
Yeah, it's
Is
in
it-
Boulder.
It's in Boulder?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's good for them. But, man, how did I get it at Baylor?
It's okay, man. It's
Hang on.
fine. I just, I want to make sure that you don't catch any strays on social when I post this, and people are like, "Come on, Felder. Come on, dog." The game is in Boulder.
Okay. In Boulder. Yeah.
8 o'clock on Fox National.
I know. And obviously Dion is talk. I do agree with his jersey take. That is a thing that we definitely like. That is a real thing. Jersey numbers matter. They are important. If you're good, you get to pick. If you're not good, they just give one to you. So, yes, I agree with that. But a lot of the other stuff, like I just go play football, man. Like, and be a coach. And I think about him juxtaposed with Tomlin. Mike Tomlin's one of my favorite coaches of all time. Tomlin, Nick Saban, I think they fit into the same vein as guys who they love the work. It's not about the results. The results come because they love the work. And I just don't know that Dion loves the work.
Passion for the process.
Yes.
Well said. Well said, Doc. This is a game where if Dave Aranda wants to save his job, he needs.
Yes.
Frankly.
Yeah.
I don't like thinking about it in those terms. I mean, here's the thing. Dave Aranda, Sam Pittman, Billy Napier, any of these coaches that are on the hot seat, these guys are hang on a sec. These guys are very well compensated individuals, okay?
Absolutely.
They got a lot of zeros on that ATM receipt.
Mm-hmm.
However, it is a results-oriented business. Billy Napier hasn't won enough games. He's going to get shown the door. The same is true about Sam Pittman. Arkansas's got a big game at Auburn. Razorbacks have to have that, frankly.
Yeah.
So too does our friends in Waco. And this is a game. I don't know, Doc, if you have a lean in this game. Colorado's a slight favorite at home. They're favored by 2. I got a feeling that the public's going to be lining up and getting on the Buffs Saturday night. But I want no part of this game. I'll watch it, but I don't want to play it.
Yeah, I don't want it either, especially with the whole quarterback situation for Baylor. I don't think they know exactly
who is
they're
their
gonna
quarterback
be trotting out there.
Yeah, I don't
clue.
Great about that either. I know Blake Shapen is gone. He's at Mississippi State, and
Yep.
yikes, that program is
They're in trouble.
they Florida at Mississippi State. We'll get to that. One of the games.
Why?
off the board
Why
is-
do we have to get to that one?
Because somebody's going to get an SEC win.
Somebody's going to win.
Florida's favored by almost a touchdown. I feel like that's egregious. I feel like that's way too reckless. But again, who do you like, Phil? Do you think Colorado gets it done? If they win this game, they're 3-1. They have handled their business over the first month of the season, all things considered.
I mean, handled their business as being very generous. Incredibly generous.
Well, I'm feeling generous today.
I think Baylor's going to win, man. They're on my list.
Okay, yep. That's my dog coming up in a little bit. Maybe we'll hear from Baylor and Colorado.
It's one of
All
those
right.
tight lines.
That's your Felder 5
and a
and
half.
1. I want to run through a couple of games that we haven't talked about and get y'all's thoughts on these. I'm not really interested in some of the ranked teams that are heavily favored against inferior opposition this week. Talk to me about UCLA and LSU just real quick, Felder, because you texted me something over the weekend when the Bruins were getting pantsed at home by Indiana last weekend. This might be the worst team in the Big Ten.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yes. They're bad.
You texted me something about Wayne. I'll pull it up. But I am just real quick.
What did I say?
LSU night game coming off of a wild one against South Carolina last weekend where they were lucky to win.
Yeah, they're bad. It's hard to watch, dude. What did I say? I don't remember what I said.
I'm gonna pull it up.
Okay, pull it up.
Man, I got a lot of text to dig through here, man.
From me? You have a lot of text from me?
Maybe it was in the group thread. Man, I'm not good at doing this on the fly. Oh, here you go. You ready? This is the quote from Felder, Saturday at 10:32 Eastern Time. 42-13. Goddamn. Wayne got to be upset. To Indiana. Woo, buddy. Look, I don't think UCLA is going to win another football game this year. They looked unfit against an Indiana team.
Yeah, that looked like child abuse.
Next 3 weeks, at LSU Saturday, home to Oregon next week, at Penn State.
Okay, why don't we do this? Why don't we take all three of us take a guess at the combined number of points they're going to lose those 3 games by?
I think it's going to flirt with 100.
24-point spread, something like that.
I think it's going to flirt with 100.
Yeah.
If you're losing at home by 30 to Indiana, you're going to LSU. We can play this game.
I'm going to say 88.
Put me down for a hundo. Put me down for a hundo.
I'll go 88.
I'm going to go 91.
Okay. All right. 88, 91, 100. Doc, you're in charge of that. You got to keep up with it
91,
over the next
100.
couple of weeks. All right. Let's get into Utah, Oklahoma State. Is this all about whether or not Cam Rising plays for you, Felder?
Yes.
Yep.
You know who their backup is?
No.
It's the little brother of Zach Wilson.
Oh.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's just,
He decided not to go to BYU.
He was like, let me go to that other school in the state.
I just don't. I hate that. One thing I do hate about college football. There's a lot of stuff I hate about it, but there's one thing I really hate about it is the lack of actual injury reports.
They're trying to change that. A couple conferences, Big Ten, SEC, are trying to get out in front of it with injury reports.
The ACC's already done it. They did it years ago. They're not reliable.
Right.
That's the other part. Because what are you going to do? Fine someone for lying? So it's just.
Let me ask you this though. Regardless, set the Cam Rising thing aside, and we'll find out.
I remember Randy Shannon being probable or possible leg. What? Probable with a leg.
Here's my question for you, Felder. You watch football differently than I do. Why can't Oklahoma State run the ball with Ollie Gordon, the reigning Doak Walker award winner, best running back in college football? Guy's averaging barely 3 yards a carry this season. What's going on?
They can't move anybody.
Well, you think you're going to be able to move Utah?
No, they're not going to be able to move Utah. That's the problem. And then
so that means Alan Bowman's going to pick you apart with his arm.
That's what I was about to say.
Because I don't feel great about that. You know what Utah isn't? Tulsa.
No, they are not. I don't feel great about it. It's very, hey. It's how many? 3 games, 216 yards.
I mean, he didn't do anything against Arkansas. He did nothing.
Well, that's what I was going to bring up. That's what I was going to do next is the Arkansas game. 17 carries for 49 yards. Oh my gosh. They can't move anybody. They're not strong up front. They don't have they can't. I don't know what to say. I thought he was going to have, I thought he was in that conversation with, was it Jaden Ott, Amarian Hampton, and a handful of other guys. And we haven't seen it. We've seen it from those guys.
I mean, if you're Utah, if you're Kyle Whittingham, don't you just put 8 in the box and force Bowman to beat you? And feel good about those matchups with your defensive backs going up against Oklahoma State's wide receivers? Because, I mean, this is Utah. This is a team that we've talked about for years that just wants to drag you into the back of the alley and just hit on you with a wrench for 3 hours.
Which is fantastic.
I love it. As in a blowtorch.
Yeah, by the way, Javian Thomas is the kid from Cal who stepped up because Ott hasn't played. But Cal still runs the football.
Yes.
They had to find a different guy.
They'll be running it down Florida State's throat Saturday night.
Dude, I'm looking forward to that.
Just take it easy.
Never forget that the Lock Doctor put an undefeated 6-0 ATS streak on the line when he picked Florida State to cover the 6.5 against Memphis last week. Never forget, folks.
You had to do it.
Never forget. This is an election year, okay? It's all about your record. It's all about what you've done for your people. Never forget that the doc gave you Florida State to cover a touchdown at home against Memphis. Never forget.
And never forget that guy's still ahead of you.
Just by one game.
Just by one.
Dude, Memphis. Wow.
Florida State was the right play, but
you know what sucks?
Memphis is the team that got exposed there. How do you only win by 8 in Tallahassee?
I love this redirect.
It's not my record that's being questioned here.
I love I'm talking about Tripp's redirect of we are bad. So how come you didn't win by more?
Yeah.
I mean, they did just fine.
You know what sucks for Memphis is that win isn't worth a damn.
Navy on your radar now this week? A little bit of a letdown spot?
I hear what you're saying, Felder. That's a game where out of conference, if you beat Florida State and Tallahassee, you can hang like a resume on that, and this year you can't. I get that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, what else are we getting to that's my dog?
I just want to run through a couple of games outside the top 25. We talked about JMU at North Carolina, Rutgers at Virginia Tech. Let's learn, okay? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Rutgers is 3-0. They haven't played anyone. I mean, they just haven't. Yeah. So let's learn. Can you win a game in Blacksburg? I don't know what the line is in that game, but I've got to think it's pretty close to a pick-up.
Like 2.5.
Arkansas at Auburn, huge game. Neither of these teams are going to Atlanta, but this is a massive quality of life game for both of these coaching staffs.
For sure.
Okay, we have officially moved on. We've got a quarterback change on the Plains, right? We're done with the oh God, I'm blanking on his name. The Michigan State transfer,
Peyton Thorne.
Peyton Thorne.
Yeah,
now you got Hank Brown.
Okay,
that's a strong name.
Okay, Arizona State at Texas Tech. Sun Devils are 3-0 under Kenny Dillingham. Can they eclipse last year's win total and get to 4-0 at Texas Tech? Duke at Middle Tennessee State. Listen, Duke, don't do the thing. Don't do the thing where you go to Murfreesboro and lose. Don't do that.
They're not very good, though, dude.
Middle Tennessee's not very good. I understand that. ACC's got a couple of games that I'm concerned about this week. We've already talked about JMU at North Carolina.
TCU at SMU.
Battle for the Iron Skillet. Duke at Middle Tennessee State. You shouldn't be in Murfreesboro. You should not be playing this game in Murfreesboro. Sorry. You're above that. You know who else is on the road in the ACC? Virginia at Coastal.
Watch out.
You're gonna lose, man. You're gonna lose.
Watch out.
We'll see.
ECU at Liberty, Felder. Can I interest you in that? 6:00.
You know I'm always interested in ECU.
Cal at FSU at 7. Keep your eyes on that one. Michigan State at Boston College. It's going to be on television. If you want to watch it, Felder's going to have to give up the big TV because Sparty's
No. She watches it downstairs.
That's the big TV.
Oh, yeah. I don't use the big TV for work.
By the way,
I give my girls the big TV.
In case you're wondering, the big TV at the Hartzell household is out of commission. Why, you ask? Because my 5-year-old son threw a football through the screen.
Is this the one that you got fixed?
It's not fixed. It can't be fixed. The screen is shattered.
You had another one get fixed, right?
That was something else. That's like a smaller television. Yes, that one was under warranty. This one is 75 inches, and it's not. So, I mean, we're down bad, dude. We're down bad. All right. Quad box is cool, but quad box on an iPad ain't that cool. Okay?
Bro, he threw a football through the television.
Hey, Dad, can you come down here? Why? What's up? The screen's broken. Man, I about near, dude. You know what would have happened to me? Like 5-year-old me?
I know what would happen to me.
I would have gotten the belt. Okay?
Yes.
Like, my dad literally would have.
Would have lost his mind.
Yeah. So, that was 2 weeks ago. Okay?
It's been 2 weeks, no TV?
It's been 2 weeks.
Dude, when my TV broke, my 75-inch TV, it got a band across it. Don't know how it happened. It took 1 day. New TV.
Yeah, what are you waiting on?
What am
You
I
think it's going to fix
on?
itself?
No, it's not going to fix itself. Yeah, I have to go to
buy
Costco.
A TV.
Yeah, just go buy a TV, he says. Man, look. Man,
It's a TV. You got to have it. Just go. You know you're getting a new TV.
We have other TVs in the house. Like, it's not the end of the world, but this was the big TV in the downstairs room where Dad would go play video games, watch football at night when everyone's asleep, and just be in his bag, okay? That has been snatched from me. Yeah, I'm aware. It's on the list, guys.
It's an opportunity. You get to upgrade your TV.
That's what I did.
You ought to be thanking your kid.
I went to 85.
Well, I mean, maybe that's an option. I don't know. You guys want to make some picks?
Yeah,
y'all ready? Let's do it.
That's my dog. Take that. That's my dog. Say that right, Mom. That's my dog. It's my That's my dog.
Cutie pie.
That's my dog. Cutie pie. And anybody got to say anything, you let me know. That's my dog.
Thank you, Chris Tucker. I've already kind of told y'all where I'm going with this, so I'll just get out of the way. JMU plus 10 at North Carolina. Give me the Dukes. Straight up to get it done at Keenan, and it's going to be a party in Chapel Hill for the folks wearing purple and gold. Let's go, Dukes. Get it done.
Okay. I'm pulling the line. I had to pull the lines up. They weren't on the regular thing.
Shout out to Tripp. Last week, he took Pitt in the backyard brawl. They won a game that they were trailing by 10 with 4 minutes to go. So, the Doc.
They were trailing by 20 with a quarter to go the week before that. Their fourth quarter team.
That's great. That's awesome.
No
so
sweat.
if you want to go back to the Narduzzi well this week, you are more than welcome to.
I don't think they're playing this week.
Well, that's tough for you, man. I guess I don't know.
It's not tough for me.
Felder and myself both missed with our underdog selections. Felder, you had Air Force. They lost to Baylor 31-3. I had Colorado State, and they lost at home to Colorado. So
the dam broke for Air Force, and they can't. Once they get down 2 touchdowns, it's over.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you don't throw the football. So, come on, boys. Let's hear it. Underdogs, who you got? Week 4.
All right, look at that.
Wow, Tripp.
Just give me Cal. I mean, it's the most obvious play ever.
Cal is a 2-point dog at FSU.
Just trying to buy a win.
Yeah, I'd love to see it.
I'd love to buy a win.
All right. Let me just make sure I didn't miss anything. That's another one. So my process it's not great. I also forget about this, that I have to do this every week.
That's okay. You've got 2 wins as in this. I mean, you are. Let me double check. Yeah, you and Tripp both have 2 wins on the season.
All right, so here's what I got. This is what I'm looking at. I'm looking at Rutgers, SMU, thinking about Baylor. I'm not going to touch this Oklahoma State game because I have no idea what's going to happen.
As we tape this show, by the way, Oklahoma State on Friday morning, 2.5-point favorite against Utah.
Are they really? because it's okay. Well, then.
4-point swing since Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm kind of
it's
interested.
It's literally, I mean, I guess somebody at coming out of Monday's practice or press conference at Utah, one of the wide receivers said that Cam Rising was going to play, and the line swung all the way back to Utah, -2. And since then, it's swung all the way back, another 4 or 5 points. So,
I love Utah.
I know you do.
I'm looking at Coastal, and you're trying to talk me into this Oklahoma game, huh?
Listen, you are free to choose your own games here.
I'm dumping that one. I'm free to choose my own games.
I'm not trying to bully anybody except for Tripp.
So, you know what? There's 3 that I really like. I'm not going to – I don't want to touch SMU. I mean, SMU is – I think they're not as good as they could be.
Smooth. They made a quarterback change.
Yeah, that's why I'm not sure what's going to happen there. Rutgers, I'm not going to hit that Baylor game. So I got it down to Rutgers at Virginia Tech. Tough place to play on the road. I got Coastal hosting Virginia.
Yep.
And, man, I might get froggy again. Take one of these. What's USF? What's that number look like?
USF
like
is a big
17.
dog, 17 at home against Miami.
Sometimes you got to go for the glory. But now's not the time. Give me Coastal.
Coastal Carolina at home hosting UVA on the
what is that, 2.5?
I got it at 3.5.
That's fine. I'll live with it.
Okay.
They're going to win at home.
Against UVA. That'd be a tough one. But you know what? ACC, stop playing true road games at Group of 5 schools. How about that? Like, how about you just acknowledge where you are?
We love going to the Sun Belt. We love going to Conference USA. It's fun.
Yeah. I mean, Virginia Tech at Old Dominion a couple weeks ago. Like, these guys just don't, like, at some point, just acknowledge where you are in the food chain of college sports and just stop booking this stuff. All right, so now for the main event, the 3-for-all. Tripp Hurd, a.k.a. the Doc of Locks, 7-2 on the young season. Your boy is 6-3. Tripp and I both went 1-2 last week. Not our best stuff. But we turn the page. Week 4 is upon us. So, Doc, how do you want to do this? You going to bounce back and forth like we've been doing?
Yeah, you're behind. You can go first.
Okay, great. Give me Clemson minus a big number at home against NC State. True freshman quarterback, first collegiate start in Death Valley.
Yeah.
Wolfpack's garbage. It's a big number, but I've got to lay the points here with Clemson. Can you confirm the number that we are using? Because I'm seeing 18.5. Are you good with that, Tripp?
Yeah, I can roll with 18.5.
18.5, yes.
Clemson minus 18.5. That is a noon game on ABC. That's my first selection of Week 4. Doc,
give me the Vols.
You're bored. Okay, so here's the thing. I like this number for you because it's come down, right? I've got Tennessee at 6.5.
6.5.
This line was hovering around 7.5, 8 points.
Yep.
So good value here. This line is the reason why I'm not taking Oklahoma, even though I talked a lot of shit earlier in the show. If I could get Oklahoma at 7.5, I'm interested. That's more than a touchdown. 6.5, that there's just no value there for me and for the purposes of this game. All right, there's other fish in the sea. So
okay.
The Doc likes Tennessee minus 6.5. If you want to put a little side wager, just you and I, Tripp, on Saturday when I see you in the Blitz, we can talk about that, okay? Game number 2 for me, we touched on it earlier. Georgia Tech's getting double digits at a ranked Louisville team who's played corpses. I'll take the Jackets plus 10.5 at Louisville, 3:30 kick on ESPN2. The Deuce. Give me the Jackets plus 10.5.
Yeah, I like that pick. I think the only thing that would slow me down with Georgia Tech, it's the number's so big. Like, why is that number all the way up to 10.5, 11? Doesn't make any sense to me. I would think that'd be more like a field goal.
I just got a text that came in from one Roddy Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Quote, y'all done with this Felder Friday? I need it. Like this is part of his routine, okay? This man's doing national television games, and he gets a lot of his information from this show.
And be like, hey, you don't have to wait till the whole
Check it out right here, man. All right? Check it out right here. All right, so game number 2, Doc. I need it.
All right, I want to go under. We're going to need to verify the number here, but I like the under in Kansas, West Virginia.
Wow.
I had it at 58.5.
The number is 56.5. Felder, you can double check that.
56.5?
Yeah.
What is it? Who is it?
Kansas at West Virginia, noon on ESPN2.
I am. Oh, hang on, wrong team.
I mean, this is my life right here.
I'm sorry?
58.5.
No.
I got
That's what I'm seeing right now.
Yeah.
No, it's 56.5.
I'm looking at it right now.
I'm looking at it right now.
On what site, man?
I'm on just ESPN Bet.
Correct.
All right, listen, Felder, you are the impartial judge on this. If you say 58.5, then that's what it is. I'm not going to fight you, man. We're a team. So Kansas, West Virginia under 58 and a hook.
Why can't we be a team?
Because we're going head to head, man. That's how this works. Third and final pick on the board for me in week 4, Saturday night in Tampa. Give me USF plus 17 against Miami, okay? Bulls are dangerous. Not saying they're going to win, but they can play up to the level of their competition, which is what we saw against Alabama, where they were hanging with the Tide for 3.5 quarters before the wheels fell off. Give me USF plus 17. Felder, I think you like this play.
17, I like it. I almost picked them outright.
I know you did.
So there you go.
Wouldn't be shocked. Wouldn't be shocked if we're in here on Monday morning talking about the Bulls taking down the Canes. Wouldn't shock me. Really wouldn't.
Really? Okay.
And Miami's going to them. Is that correct?
That's correct. That is at Raymond James. Or whatever the hell we're calling that place, the Pirate Ship.
Yeah. Another game that you've mentioned the ACC shouldn't be playing.
And you've got 17.
What do you have, Doc?
17.
Okay, thank you. God almighty, dude. Just beat me up on these lines, man. I mean,
not
what are we
beating you,
doing?
Dude, you had NC State down to 17.
That's where I thought it was, man. I mean, I can't help it that I'm moving lines while the show's happening.
You're just making up lines. Just give me Tennessee plus 24.
Is that funny? Am I supposed to laugh at that? Give me your third game, man.
I've got
Let's
17.
Go.
17 looks right.
Thank you.
All right, can I get a number for Boston College? I've got them at 7.
Boston College at home.
Actually, it's down to 6.5.
Yeah.
Is what I'm looking at right now.
Yep. I see 6.5 as well.
6-5.
All right, I'll take BC, Red Bandana, at home, off a loss.
Is it the Red Bandana game?
Yes.
It's a good pick.
Thank you.
Good pick. Place will be juiced. Absolutely love it. Folks, that's the show. And I want to say this before I do a varsity live read to get out of here and promote the Blitz. All three of us, myself, Michael Felder, and the Doc, we did a 90-minute college football show on a Friday getting ready for week 4. You know what we didn't mention the entire show? And this is the only show in America where this is happening. Arch Manning.
Yeah.
Great. The guy's going to start against ULM. Whoopity-doo. Who cares?
Yeah.
So, props to us for everybody zigging, we're zagging. You know what I'm saying? Good for Arch. I'm happy for him. Texas is going to win another game by 35 points. Who cares? No one. Not us, anyway. So, props to us. Folks, if you're driving around,
You just drug that out for 2 minutes.
on Saturday, I think it's worth mentioning, okay? Because
So
I'm tired of
technically,
people
now
feeding
we've
at the
talked a lot
trough.
about Arch
No,
Manning.
listen. I'm tired of people feeding at the trough, man. Like, if you want to listen to people talk about Arch Manning, there are places you can go to get that. It ain't here,
He's
okay?
got wheels, man. A lot of upside with Arch Manning.
He's got wheels because he looked fast on TV and he's white, okay? That's why we think he's got wheels, okay? You're the Texas quarterback. You should be gifted. That's why you're the Texas quarterback. Let's move on, okay? I mean, unbelievable. I want to talk about the Varsity app real quick, all right? If you don't have it, you need to go ahead and download this thing. It's free. It's on the Apple Store. It's on Google Play. You can listen to the Blitz live for free for 12 hours. It's the only place in the world you can do that. There's other places where the Blitz lives, like it's on Sirius XM 84, but you got to pay for that. It's not a free subscription. So download the Varsity Network app. The doc is on the ones and twos. He's on the wheels of steel. He's like mixing the broadcast as it happens.
And you can catch all Arch Manning's touchdowns on Saturday on the Varsity app.
I swear to God, dude.
He's great.
You can enjoy live college football games and podcasts wherever you are in the world, and you can search for specific content for your school. That's the show. I mean, that's a good show, man. Guestless. We just did this thing. I love it. Enjoy the games. Enjoy week 4, and we will talk to you guys early next week. So long, everybody.